Hello, everyone. Welcome to this month's Teacher Talks. Oh, it's so great to see so many of you here. And oh my goodness, and there's people from all over the world. So hello and welcome. So I think we should just kick things off because we've got lots to get through today. So first of all, my name is Alex Orpin. I'm the community specialist here at Kahoot, and I'm going to be your host for the event today. So I thought we'd do a quick introduction because we're actually going to have three teachers speaking today. The first one you're going to hear from is our colleague and resident pedagogy expert, Pekka. He's from Finland and he used to be a science and maths teacher. You will also be hearing from the wonderful Ashley. She is a teacher from the USA and teaches elementary school students. And thirdly, you're going to hear from Hannah. And those of you who've been to webinars here before probably know Hannah Harris, but she runs the ambassador program here, and she used to be a kindergarten teacher in the USA as well. So if you're new here, then very welcome. And if you have been before, welcome back. As you know, Teacher Talks happens every month, and we follow something that we call the Kahoot learning experience. So this is our end-to-end curriculum approach that makes learning awesome. And it's all powered by Kahoot tools. So we've designed it so that the Kahoot learning experience also aligns with the course of the academic year. So at the time when you're doing exams or at the time that you're reflecting on the learning process, hopefully this is matching what you were doing. So today the theme is going to be efficient preparation. So start of the new year, many of you may have New Year's resolutions to spend less time working, more time having fun. So today we want to bring you three great Kahoot features that can actually help you do that. So the three main features we're going to talk about today are, first of all, slide sync. So this is when you've prepared a presentation and you're popping them all into Kahoot. We can show you how you can do that. It's dead easy. So that's going to be a cool one for today. The second thing we're going to talk about is the Kahoot AI features. So AI sounds a bit scary, but there's lots of cool tips and tricks that you can do that makes Kahoot generation so much faster. Ashley's going to talk about that. And finally, we're going to talk about all new lecture mode, which is very exciting. And all three of these features are free and available to use for everyone. So whether you're new to Kahoot or an old timer, hopefully these will be great to get you started. Before we properly begin, I just want to share a few things and reminders about how these webinars work. So this is the housekeeping details. All of the sessions will be recorded and available after the event. So if you need to pop out or leave early, or you come in late, well, if you come in late, you'll miss this message, but there will actually be a recording. So if you've signed up for this, that means you're on the email list. So the email will be sent to you and that will have the recording. Okay. And anytime you want to see the previous webinars, if you go to kahoot.com/webinars, they're all there for you. Okay. All there to enjoy on demand. Other thing, everyone who comes to these webinars receives a certificate of attendance for joining, okay? So if you have a professional development program at your school, you can use it for professional development credits. The certificate we send you has a box in it which you add your own name. So add your name to it before you download it. So that's something that you can show to your school admins and campus, and it's a 1-hour session. Okay. Let's see, anything else? Oh, yes, our Q&A tools. So you will see that Lavinia, Pekka, and Hannah are all available today to answer your questions. So on the bottom, well, on my screen, it's on the bottom of my screen, there's a little green arrow that says share, and next to it, there's a question mark, and it says Q&A. that tool is a great one to add questions. So although you won't get the chance to chat throughout the session, you can ask us questions as we go and we'll answer them live. So if we mention anything that you want to look further into or see a blog or see some more research, we have all of that covered. So feel free to use the Q&A button below. Okay. Any other questions you might have or you occur to you after the event, communityteam@kahoot.com is our email. So feel free to pop as a follow and send us an email. Okay. So without further ado, to talk a bit more about the Kahoot learning experience, efficient preparation and slide syncs, I've got Pekka. So Pekka, welcome to the stage.
Thank you, Alex. And hello, everyone. My name is Pekka Peura. As Alex said, I'm located in Finland, and I'm really excited to be here to talk to you something about our Kahoot learning experience. So, and especially the tools that we are going to show you today, those are one of my favorite tools in Kahoot. So I'm really happy to be there and be here. Shortly about my teaching background. So as Alex said, I'm a science and math teacher. I was teaching 10 years in upper secondary school in Helsinki area, Finland, before I joined Kahoot. But let's start it. So we know, everyone who has used Kahoot knows how engaging and motivating it is for students. But Kahoot is more than engagement. So we are really lucky. We've been in really good situation that the Kahoot interests a lot of researchers all around the globe. So there's been published more than 200 peer-reviewed high-quality articles about Kahoot from literature all over the world. So we have studies from more than 50 different countries that have been studied. Is Kahoot helping students to learn or not? And we are really glad that the results from our point of view is really positive. So the studies are saying that Kahoot has positive effect on motivation, of course, that we see easily, but also for learning performance, classroom dynamics, attitudes, engagement, mental well-being, and also attendance and participation. And for example, only last year, there was published 2 larger meta-analyses from Kahoot. So meta-analysis is a study that combines dozens of peer-reviewed articles that are quantitative. So they are actually measuring how much is the effect of some tool. And as the quote in the bottom here says that the findings in the both meta-analysis was that Kahoot is increasing student learning or the performance on a typical test by a full letter grade. So it is a significant positive effect only on learning performance. And we want to help all the educators to achieve these awesome results. And for that, we have created a model that explains more how and when Kahoot is really effective in a classroom. So I shortly first explain this model, and then we deep dive into 3 specific features that are our topics today. But we know that everything starts with the preparation. We want to save our time, and Kahoot today is a really good tool for saving our preparation time. So this model starts with efficient preparation, and that is also our main topic today. Then in the model, we have impactful instruction, playful practice, effective assessment, memorable review, and group achievement. And the main key features for efficient preparation, what I want to highlight is AI assist Kahoot creation. So if you want to create your Kahoot from scratch, it's today really fast and really easy with our AI tools. And you will be hearing more today about this. Then if you are if you use presentations, if you have a lot of good your own material in PowerPoint slides or Google Slides or PDF or Keynote presentations, now you can actually or you have been able to upload those before, but now you can actually also sync your Google Slides or PowerPoint presentations with Kahoot. And this I'm going to live demo to you in the next 5 minutes. So you will see in action how this actually works. And then of course we have around 100 million ready-made Kahoots. We have a lot of Kahoot courses, and those are like 80 million of those Kahoots have been created by fellow educators. So those are like those are curated already, and you can start using them. The third feature that we are going to highlight today is lecture mode. And it's in our model, it's in the impactful instruction section. If you want to foster a classroom discussions or have interactive presentations, Kahoot is a really good tool for it. And I have to say personally that this lecture mode has been one of the game changers for me. So even with the Kahoot, I've been using it in my lessons or lectures or in teacher trainings, but not all the time. Mostly like gathering options or then asking some questions or when I want to have some kind of interactive. But I have previously still used my Google Slides or PowerPoint slides. But now with our lecture mode, this is actually the one-to-go presentation tool, because we can have all the same features that the normal Google presentation or PowerPoint presentation has, but we can add the Kahoot interactivity here. And you will also see a live demo of this today. The other sections in our model, play for practice, we have team and game modes. We have a nice self-study modes for students. Teachers can assign Kahoots or courses for students. We have instant feedback for the students that they can use for self-assessment. We have advanced reports for teachers. Teachers can use Kahoot as, for example, pulse checks. And then if you really want to make sure that everything is learned, we can use Kahoot for review, or if we want to personalize the learning, we can assign different Kahoot or different courses to different students. And the last section is our group achievement. We have a really nice tool called Kahootopia that is for the whole classroom, all the students to celebrate the learning achievements together. If you want to learn more, we have our Kahoot learning experience channel inside the Kahoot platform. And in here, there's courses, so professional development courses for you, designed for you, so you can learn more of these features and quickly. All of these courses are only 10 minutes long. And here we have, for example, learn how to use lecture mode in 10 minutes, learn how to generate Kahoots with AI in 10 minutes. So if you have a 20-minute time, you can go through 2 of these courses. So these are all made for you. But now let's dive into our live demo. So now I've entered my Kahoot platform, and actually the Kahoot learning experience channel, you can find it also here. So if you want to learn more, you can just find the channel I showed you here, and all the courses we have available for you, you can find right here. But so, I have slides. I have Google Slides show ready that I want to use in educating students or whoever. And I show you how to sync those with your Kahoot. So what I'm going to do is I press create. I'm creating a Kahoot. Here you can see our AI assist Kahoot creators. You will learn more of those shortly, but I want to import slides. And here you can see that I can upload PDF, PowerPoint, Keynote files, or Google Slides. And our main features, what I'm showing to you now, is the sync of slides. And that can be done with the Google Slides or PowerPoint. So what I'm actually doing is now I'm accessing to my Google account with this inside Kahoot. So here I have my Google Slides, and I pick one of those. And now what is happening, it is uploading my slides from my Google account to Kahoot. So the slides that I have are all popping here. They are uploading. And what is my example? It's actually a lecture that I held for teachers and educators about student-centered assessment. So this is something that I have used. This is a true story, and I used our lecture mode because it was fitting the best. So now all the slides have been uploaded. I just press add all, and all of the slides are now uploaded to my Kahoot. So this is nothing new from our perspective, because you have been able to upload the slides also previously. What can be done here? For example, I told that I can add some interactivity. For example, for this slide, I want to collect opinions right away. I write here that which of the topics is the most exciting for you. So if I want to collect some opinions from the audience right away, I can do it. And of course, I can add questions as in normal Kahoot. But the sync feature is here. So what I can do, I can click edit. And if I click edit, it opens this Google slide presentation in my Google account. So now I'm not in the Kahoot platform anymore. I'm in my Google platform, and I can actually start editing my slides. So let's add today. This is the format that we use in Finland when we express dates. I want to add a fourth topic here. So we have a topic XXX, so not only 3 but 4. I'm still editing my slides. I can add a new slide here. So let's add something. Welcome. So now I edited my Google Slides, and I go back to the Kahoot creator, and what I can do, I can click update here. Do I want to update only one slide? Do I want to update all slides? I press update all slides, and now it takes few seconds, and it's updating the slides. And now I can see the date is changed. I created the interactive slide for this. I see it's already also updated, so I can add the fourth option here. I do not see yet the slide that I added, but if I go here, I see that it's also uploaded to this system. So I want to add that too. So now I have also this slide here. So this is the what we mean by syncing the slides. So the editing can be done in the other platform, and it automatically can be synced here. So now I just assessment done, save, to delete this one, save, and now I can host my slide in live. And what I said, I need to mention this. I'm so super excited about this lecture mode, what is a completely new mode, and you will have this live demo here today. But now I have the slide lecture mode already in use. People could be joining here, and I can like start immediately my show with the interactivity. So this is how easy it is to sync slides. So that was all from me.
Oh, thank you so much, Pekka. That was fantastic. I wish the slide sync tool existed a couple of years ago when I was teaching. I used to teach at a university, and I always had Google Slides presentations because I used to go in and log in on the university computer in the lecture hall and to get the slides up. And I would always do a Kahoot, but sometimes at the beginning or in the middle or at the end. But I'd always have to quit out of my slides to do the Kahoot. So I absolutely love this feature where it's integrated throughout, keeps all the students engaged and focused. And yeah, you can just like pop in some questions and make some edits, which is obviously key when you suddenly realize you've made a spelling mistake on the slides, which is my go-to mistake. So next up, we have Ashley as our speaker. So I mentioned earlier, she is an elementary school teacher from the USA. She's based in Florida. She's been teaching for about 18 years. So Jedi Master, please welcome to the stage. She's going to teach us all about the AI tools.
Thank you. So I am in a classroom right now with 5th grade students. So I use Kahoot on a regular routine basis. So I'm going to go over the AI tools that I use that benefits my classroom. All right, so one of the tools, I always say AI to the rescue, because as teachers, we know that we don't have a lot of time to create assessments, to create exit tickets. We always want to be able to assess our students to see where they're at. AI tools in Kahoot are going to be come to the rescue for you, okay? Because it's going to save you time with creating Kahoots. I don't know about anybody else, but I used to create Kahoots from scratch. And so that used to take a lot of time, but now with the AI tools, it's time saving. Also, you're able to personalize lessons for students, especially if you have a student that's struggling. You can quickly make a Kahoot for them that you can assign to them individually to complete, or maybe in small group. You're going to be able to quickly make exit tickets to assess your students. You'll be able to use that data instantly. I know that I like using the exit tickets at the end of a lesson, and then I'm able to pull small group students over and be able to go over what they missed and quickly clear up misconceptions. And then the PDF feature, especially for reading and science, it's a wonderful tool because we always have those PDFs that are those texts that doesn't have questions. And we're always like, oh, this would be great if I had some questions to go along with it. But we don't always want or don't always have the time to create those questions that go along with it. So this is an easy way to create questions to go along with those texts. All right, so what you would do is when you go into create, you're going to click create, and then just like they were talking before, you're going to see where it says AI. It says Kahoot generator, AI assistant. It's going to have a topic and it's going to have PD file. And so first I'm going to talk about the topic, because this is really great and easy to do when you're looking for maybe a specific topic that you're teaching in class. So you're just going to click on the topic, and then you can set your level for your students. So I'm going to quickly show you how to do it. So you can pick the topic. You can also do pick URL, PDF, Wikipedia. You can pick that as well. I'm going to show you how you can quickly create and how fast you can do this. So you can go to your Kahoot account. Of course, you're going to go to create. When you hit create, you're just going to hit Kahoot. And then it's going to come up with the AI tools. So this is the topic one. You pick on the, click the topic. These are some previews of different topics if you're unsure of what to search for. But like my students are doing adding decimals right now. So I can type in adding decimals, hit generate. But also I want to point out over to the side, you can change your skill level. So like if this is for your students, like your struggling learners, you can pick beginner. If you want it more for advanced students, maybe you wanted to challenge your other students, you can hit advanced. You can also change what the conversational, do you want it to be formal, humorous, what type of tone of voice would you like to use? And then you can also change how many questions you would like for your students. So then you hit generate, and it quickly comes up with questions. So that it comes up with all different question types. So here's a poll, and to create it, all you have to do is hit add. So I would hit add to the poll. If I want this quiz question, there's going to be also usually a true and false questions that you can add in. So you can quickly go through and you can add whatever questions that they have here. So you don't actually have to create it from scratch like we used to do. And you can also hit add all slides. So if you don't want to go through every single question, you can hit add all and it will add it all. So then you hit done and now your Kahoot is ready. And if you need to, you can always go in and adjust your time, because a lot of times, especially if you're creating it for your struggling learners, you might have to go in and adjust the time. But within a few minutes, you have now created either an exit ticket or a small group lesson or a lesson for your students to complete independently to make sure that they understand the content that you are creating or that you're teaching. So all right, so then also, talking about the, that's the topic tool, but they also have a PDF tool that you can use as well. And so that tool is great. I love using it. I teach ELA right now in social studies. So I love using this tool because it's great, especially I have with our curriculum, we have a lot of text that the students read that doesn't have questions. So I always want to use this to be able to help the students to be able to create those questions that we want, but we don't really have the time to create. So the PDF tool, you will still go to the same area. You would go to the click create. And if you notice, you had the topic next to it. And then this is the PDF file where you're going to upload the PDF. So you're going to go in. You can upload as many pages as that is in the PDF. You don't have to like narrow it down. It will put all of them in there, and you can pick only the pages that you want to use for that act to create the questions. All right, and then it's going to, like I said, it's going to create all kinds of different questions, polls, quiz questions, true and false. It's going to have all those different types of questions in there. So I'm going to show you how quickly it is to create a, using a PDF, how quickly you can create a lesson. So again, you're going to go to your lesson. You're going to go to create. You're going to go to create, and you're going to hit Kahoot. You're going to hit generate PDF file. You're going to upload the PDF file by clicking, and then you're going to go to, hold on, let me go to my PDF file. You're going to go to your desktop, or I put it in my desktop, the lesson, and then it's going to come up with all of these. And you don't have to pick all of them. Like I said, it's going to upload all of the PDF. You can just pick the certain slides that you want to create the questions, and then you just hit generate. And then again, you can pick the skill level, intermediate. You can also pick the tone of voice, the Kahoot length, how many questions you would like. So you can, and then again, all you have to do is hit add. So you can go through and hit add. And then if you decide that you don't want it, you can always hit remove as well. And you just go through and you add in, again, they're going to have true or false. There's going to be all different types of questions that you can add in. And then when you're done, you just hit done. And again, you can create the, set the length of the questions. And you can also, if you want to do it again for your struggling learners, beginner, intermediate, advanced. So depending on what type of students that you are creating the lesson for, you might want to change that level as well. And you, again, up here, you can also change the format. Do you want it to be a presentation? Do you want it to be a quiz? So one of the great things that I love both of those tools. Both of them are great. Both AI tools are awesome. And again, like I said, I use them all the time to be able to create lessons for my students. I create exit tickets on a regular basis, but they're great. They benefit us because we don't actually have to take as much time in creating those assessments, those exit tickets that normally would take us a long time to create. So like I said, one of the benefits of the AI tools, the topic generator, great to use for math and science. You can create quick exit tickets, quick assessments. It's editable, so it can meet all the needs of all of your individual students. And of course, Kahoot is always about engagement. Students are going to be totally engaged as they're completing the task. And then, of course, the PDF generator is great for reading, science, and math. Questions can go along with the text. You don't actually have to sit there and create them and type them up yourself. I know with our science curriculum, we have a lot of science text, but not a lot of questions that go along with it. You can create quick assessments, and this is a great way for you to see what your students are struggling with and be able to meet their needs. So if your students are struggling in a certain area, you can, again, like I said, make it an individual lesson for an individual student, and then be able to just assign it to that student. So it makes it more individualized. Or you can do it for like a small group, students that are struggling. And you can quickly, like I love using it for exit tickets, because then I can quickly call those kids over for small group and then be able to help them and clear up those misconceptions. Instead of before, I would take the exit tickets that were paper-based, and I would have to wait until I had a time to grade them. And then the next day, I would be going over those exit tickets with those students. But again, it would be a day late. This is instant. I can get that data right away and just use that data to pull those students over. I also like to use it as a reward at the end of the lesson. A lot of times I tell the students, like, we're going to read this text together, and at the end of the lesson, we're going to do a Kahoot. The Kahoot, of course, is based on the text, and students are more engaged and more part of the lesson when you do that. But the biggest benefit of this is that it's time saving, that as teachers, we don't have a lot of time. So this benefits us because we don't have to sit there and create PowerPoints or create worksheets or create any of those things, that this instantly creates it for us using our materials that we already have. So hopefully I informed some of you on some things that I use in my classroom on a daily basis, and hopefully it gave you some ideas of things that you can use in your classroom.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Ashley. That was fantastic. I personally love the PDF generator. I think it's really useful if you've got very specific material. So instead of you reading through it and trying to think of questions, a little bit of that work is done for you, which is great. And I really love your idea about making something a bit more individual. So if a student has missed a class or a student has failed a test and needs to retake it, you can quickly make them a kind of personalized Kahoot based on the material, assign it to them for homework. So they've got a little cheat sheet and a little study plan just for them. So everybody can be caught up to speed. A couple of you were asking about exit tickets. I'm from the UK, so we don't use that expression, but basically it's just to check that the students know everything about the topic before you move on to the next topic. So whether that's done by a formal exam or just other types of assessments or homework. So you're like, tick, the student understands, next bit. Okay, so we are now going to move on to the lecture mode portion of the event with my colleague and former teacher, Hannah. Okay, so this will have like a kind of Kahoot element to it. So you can do that on your computer, your mobile, your tablet, on www.kahoot.it or on the Kahoot app. Hannah will show you the kind of game pin. She'll show you how it's slightly different from a kind of classic Kahoot. Okay, but I'm not going to give away any more. Take it away, Hannah.
Thanks, Alex. And thank you, Pekka and Ashley, for really setting the stage for really enriching and thought-provoking, informative content. I've enjoyed hearing all of the reflections and insights shared in both the chat and the Q&A. So thanks for engaging with me thus far. Excited to close out our Teacher Talks webinar today with a live kind of behind the screen demo and live Kahoot to enjoy and play along and learn. As Alex said, I'll give you some prompts and directions on how to access this Kahoot live with me. Also, feel free to just follow along on screen in Zoom where we are now. If you don't have a device handy, no problem. You'll get to see the same kind of experiences that I am seeing and learning with along the way. So without further ado, I am going to pop over to my Kahoot library now. So unlike the typical Kahoot lobby that you often see first, I'm showing you kind of like one step backwards and how my Kahoot looks in preparation. So I've selected this Kahoot from my library. It's a standard Kahoot that Alex and I collaborated on. It has the same format of slides that are imported with slide sync that Pekka mentioned. We used AI to add in some variation in these question types, and I'm finally ready to share it with my students, you all. So I am going to jump into the host live, that blue button that you'd see in any standard Kahoot library. And as I navigate over, I am jumping back into Teacher Talks, my Kahootopia class island. In case you were here last month, we started our own island together and we're coming back to build on it today. And now I have different options on formats for presenting and sharing these live synchronous sessions in Kahoot. I can, of course, present in classic mode. I can use a winter holidays mode with a fun background and some winter snow-filled elements. Shout out to our office in Norway right now that has plenty of snow to go along with the winter holiday mode. But today we're going to focus on lecture mode. So unlike some of our more standard classic Kahoots, lecture mode is all about that engagement that often happens in between questions and in between those assessment pieces. So the conversations, the dialogue, and the discussion meant kind of provoked from that interactive and really active, rather engaging experience. So I've selected lecture mode. I'm ready to start my live Kahoot. And rather than jumping into the lobby, as I said before, you're already taken into my live Kahoot session. So you can join me in this live Kahoot. There will be options for you to engage with different question and answer formats. Of course, you can follow along just on this screen, but the Kahoot game pin that we're joining is 311507. I'm going to drop the link into the chat as well if you would like to join me in this live Kahoot. And I'll mention and kind of point out a few of the different changes and formats that are different in lecture mode, this style we're playing now, rather than the standard classic mode that we've played before. So you can kind of already see a different dynamic on screen. My slide, or my first content piece, is already in display. We have our QR code and game pad situated to the left of our screen. And rather than the lobby holding players and options to switch avatars and change presentation formats, I see the participants kind of tabulating and tallying on the right-hand side of my screen. So I can scroll down and see, hello, Hannah, hello, Keish, hello, Ashley, hello, Hussey, hello, Monica, Kat is here, Julia is here. So many different formats and tools. And of course, I have different options to update my settings and different presentation tools as they would standard Kahoot as well. So we have, according to my Zoom, it looks like we have about 350 people joining our Zoom session today for Teacher Talks. Of course, we might get to that 350 number, but we'll start and continue our lecture mode presentation in Kahoot at the 100. I see we have 150, 115. That looks like a good place to start. Of course, you can always jump into our Kahoot no matter what slide or question we are on by using the game pin. It's bottom left on my shared screen right now, and also there's a link in the chat. So we'll continue on. So as we are oh, I went too far. Okay. As we are continuing on, you'll see again that lecture mode does have a little bit of a different format, again, meant to really elicit those conversations and discussions that sometimes happen offline and away from the screen. Lecture mode has so many different formats and implementation kind of use cases and experiences, but we feel, and what we're learning from teachers themselves, is that lecture mode is best used when you want to integrate Kahoot sessions throughout like a longer form presentation. So often lecture mode is used throughout the entire duration of a class period. Sometimes that's 25 minutes in a primary classroom. Sometimes that's 90 minutes in a post-secondary or university setting. With this, even though you have a very, very long Kahoot session, the audience remains engaged. There's opportunities to intersperse those interactive question formats that we already know and love on Kahoot, like type answer, and drop pin questions, slider questions, scale questions, however and whichever you decide, in a way that can be supported and kind of further explained with slides around the different question types. So really, really great for those kind of quick, intermediate, and kind of woven Kahoot questions and experiences without really disrupting the formal presentation and kind of the long form learning experience. We also have removed the podium and leaderboard presentation. So although we're still tracking data behind the screen, and you can look at those levels of accuracy, retention, and engagement in the downloadable Kahoot reports, it's that competitive element of the podium and the leaderboard is not included in lecture mode. So it's a really, really great way to remove that added distraction, added peer pressure, or even stress of a whole class learning environment without taking away or really minimizing any of that level of interaction and engagement. Yeah, I think it's good too, Venus. And I hear a lot of people are really excited about that option to remove or even hide the leaderboard tool. So you'll see lecture mode available as a game mode in any live Kahoot learning experience. You saw me find it directly from my library. As soon as I pressed that blue host live button, I had options to scroll through all of the different Kahoot game mode formats, including lecture mode. If you are in a workplace setting or even in some higher ed settings, depending on how your Kahoot is set up, you may also see lecture mode named as presentation mode. Same format, same tool, and same experience, just depends on kind of who your player audience might be. As you continue learning and experiencing on lecture mode, there are lots of different formats and tools that you can tweak, customize, and personalize to your content, your curriculum, and your classroom experience. You have options to build slides directly in Kahoot, as you would with the AI-assisted creator, or even adding in your own big media or bullet points or videos and GIFs and images, however. Or, of course, you can sync with your existing slides like Pekka showed us. So you can connect connect a Microsoft OneDrive account with PowerPoint slides, or connect a Google Slides account, in which case the live changes and collaboration and updating modifications that are happening in that Google Slides or PowerPoint document are then able to be edited and synchronized on the Kahoot side as well. So no more uploading, re-uploading, removing, adding slides again and again that I was definitely troubled and frustrated by. Now it's just a simple edit and refresh button that really, really makes those changes so much more immediate and efficient, and kind of what we're excited about today. Of course, you can also add in slides and question types themselves with those AI-assisted creator tools that Ashley so wonderfully demoed for us. And when you are ready to launch this Kahoot, no matter how long you have edited and what tools and references are included, all you're doing is selecting lecture mode or presentation mode instead of that classic game mode experience. So a question, let's see how well we were paying attention as the Kahoot was launched and live for us. Where might you find lecture mode? So this question is already kind of being presented without an added question or an added prompt on your device. So you're probably thinking like, okay, I see the question on Hannah's screen. Why can't I engage with it? This lecture mode style really, really slows down the pace of learning so that you can add in clarifying details, explain further, or even give some context to what the question might be. So I'm asking you, get ready to look at your screens because you're going to be asked, where can you find lecture mode? In this pin answer question, you're moving the image, not the pin, to sit directly under or include the area that you'd like to deem as the correct space. So question is ready, queued up and good to go. And now you are answering now. Drop your pins. So you got to see that live. I think it's pretty cool and a really, really great way to add context and further explain. Now you don't have to worry about, oh man, I should have explained this question further. I forgot this detail. That kind of double dipped question experience really, really helps to make sure that all learners have access to the material and experience in the same context. You're eliminating those barriers and making an equitable learning experience. If you'd like to join this live Kahoot and haven't made it in yet, the pin is at the bottom of the screen. It's 311507. Seems that we're looking across the board. Many of us have found it. In fact, lecture mode was bottom left of my screen. You'll want to select that specifically. Kahoot defaults to playing in a classic mode, so selecting lecture mode is just one extra click before you launch the live Kahoot. We see that 27 of us were feeling really confident and right on cue. 78 of us, we're still working on it. You'll have more opportunities to continue learning. So no leaderboard now, no podium check-in. We continue on playing and sharing in our next slide, thinking about how lecture mode really improves and kind of doubles down on what interaction looks like. As you are engaging right now, I'm seeing my emoticons come across the screen. There are options to include live reactions. These reactions have a whole range of different feelings and reflections with these reactions. So thumbs up, heart, smiley emoticons, frowny emoticons, thumbs down. However, you as a player and learner want to communicate your comprehension, how you're following along. These reactions are a really, really great way to just get immediate feedback from your students and your players and your learners on how they are engaging in this content. You have options to review all of this aggregated data post Kahoot lesson as well. So you can always go back in and say, how was Alex really engaging on slide 6 when I was talking about interaction? And I can always check to see those specifics and those reflections after the fact as well. But I can also look to see what that data looks like live time. So in my reactions, I can continue on and see how players are engaging, experiencing, and participating with this content. I'm seeing my reactions come across bottom right of my screen, and I can also check in on these reactions to see that. Let me close my participants here and we'll show this again, that 26 people have given us a thumbs up. They're ready to continue on. A few people are laughing at me. Hopefully I haven't given anything embarrassing, and a few of us are puzzled and surprised. So that's a great reflection for me to know how we're continuing to learning, maybe what I need to focus on for later lessons, or even who to follow up with after the fact for more clarity and more comprehension. All right, another pin answer question. I gave a hint at this earlier, thinking about where might the Kahoot headquarters be located. We have an option to check out a map. Thank you to Alex for choosing a question and a media type that included not just names, but country flags as well. I think that's always a good learning experience to see the two combined in together. So again, remember on this question, you're moving the media, the image itself, to sit right under the pin as a kind of note and selection of the accurate country region, where in fact are the Kahoot headquarters. We have many different offices, but we are born and raised. Let's check it out and see where we fit in and how we played. I apologize. My Kahoot is a little bit laggy today. Hopefully you're seeing it on your screen and it's not just slow on mine. But the answer was, in fact, we're born and raised in Oslo, Norway. So many of us had that experience in that top area of our map. Norway as a country was included as the correct answer. Some of us are still learning and going, which of course is a-okay. And as I expected, something was a little bit laggy and a little bit amiss with my Kahoot. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and see if we can relaunch this together. Hopefully it doesn't bump us out all the way, and it sure did. But with lecture mode, I have options to skip ahead to a later question. So I'm going to jump right back into our Kahoot together. And I'm going to advance to a later question. Thanks for bearing with me on this, guys. We can see that all learning experiences can go a little bit askew and awry, but lots of options to continue learning and ways that we can always make for some added experiences and learning experiences. So as we got to see it live, there are options for you to engage with reactions, get that immediate feedback, and really see how students are understanding, comprehending, and experiencing the content you are presenting. I'm in a live Kahoot, a new live Kahoot now. So because I got bumped out, I launched a brand new live Kahoot behind the screen. You can join me again, or you can also just follow along in this live Zoom. What's cool about lecture mode is we don't see a podium and we're not watching a leaderboard along the way. So no big deal if you've gotten bumped out. There are options to always join back in. I'll leave this QR code up as I continue and drop the new link in the chat in case you'd like to bear with me. Amazing. Yeah, sometimes Kahoot makes devices a little bit slow. It's a lot of configuration and bandwidth on my screen. And I happen to be in a bad weather area myself as I look out the window to see all the snow. So that could be it as well. But continuing on, these reactions, I'm seeing lots of people join and come in. Thank you for sharing all of the hearts and surprise and excitement and the thumbs up. I appreciate the feedback and reactions. Another quiz question to kind of refocus us. What type of presentation format can you upload into a Kahoot, with options to import files from a variety of different formats? Which of these is available on Kahoot? We're looking for a multi-select question format, so you may in fact need to click more than one answer option. Awesome. So we did know, in fact, that we can upload files from a variety of different formats. We have Keynote files, PDF files, PowerPoints, and Google Slides. All are available to add into Kahoot and really make sure that your content remains cohesive throughout your lessons and your entire curriculum. Continuing on Brainstorm, one of my favorite question formats on Kahoot because it's really, really great for eliciting feedback and insights and opinions from your players and learners themselves. So asking you now, what are some of your tips for efficiently preparing for classes? Whether you are a virtual teacher, a curriculum planner, you're planning for live lesson learning throughout an entire school day, I'd love to hear your tips for efficiently preparing for classes. What are some of your ideas? You'll have options to submit more than one answer and idea too. So if you're chock full of insights, I'd love to hear your opinions and experiences as you contribute and share. And of course, we'll be able to look at through some of these together as a brainstorm. Question has options to review submissions and responses in live time, or even to review after the fact as well. As we share your own brainstorm ideas, I'm just taking a look at our chat. So many questions and ideas. Thank you for sharing. Artura asked if Kahoot was born in Norway. Why does Kahoot have part of the IT Italy domain like kahoot.it? That's a fun, curious question. Thanks, Lavinia, for sharing that. Kahoot actually used to be a verb, Kahoot it. Okay, so we can see we have lots of different responses already coming in through that brainstorm question. Kahoot automatically uses an AI-assisted organization grouping tool to find responses that have similar keywords or similar themes and group those ideas together. So we're kind of consolidating and condensing material. So a few participants and players shared that they are using AI and PDFs to make lesson planning even more efficient. Using Kahoot, knowing your material and your audience is so huge. Kind of brainstorming yourself, having a kind of mindset prep and getting in the zone, as we'd say, make it really interesting with games. I'm going to group those together. Try to include student names and interests in the lesson. Absolutely, whether it's like celebrity shout outs, student names and math problems. I love to see how personalized we can make lesson and learning experiences, albeit on Kahoot or otherwise. I see Kahoot as another option, using Kahoot as another option, lesson planning, word walls, love to see it, differentiated instruction, a lot of coffee. I hear you, and I appreciate the honesty. Awesome options and really, really cool way to see how you might get an exact reflection or input from students, whether they're teacher to teacher kind of colleagues sharing in a continued education session, or even student responses throughout the day. You as an educator can have options where then students and players vote on their favorite or most kind of cohesive agreed upon experiences, or you can skip voting and have this just be a different kind of reflection piece. We're going to skip voting for now for sake of time and think about how we might continue learning and sharing together. But as we know, lecture mode is part of the live learning experience. It's just a simple kind of formatting tool. We don't have to change our content. We don't have to change our learning experience. It's there for you to engage and interact with your students, no matter what you're teaching and where you might be presenting or sharing it with. That is the end of our lecture mode. As we said, we do not have a podium and leaderboard to share and celebrate. We can always present that podium independently or even look at it in a reports mode, but it's not something that we see in live time. So exciting to see how you might keep your students engaged without the pressures of competition. Thanks for playing with me, and thanks for bearing along a little bit of a tech hiccup along the way, but back to you, Alex. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you so much, Hannah. And thank you for dealing with a tech hiccup with grace, as it happens to the best of us. Okay, well, we're coming to the end now. So just before you go, there will be lots of teachers that will have loved to have come to this webinar but didn't have the time. So in order to remind them, we like to put a few things on social media and share the recording and things so everyone knows when to come. So we're going to put a link in the chat so that you can click the link and directly share to the X platform that you've attended this webinar. So that would be great if you can do that. And if you can use the hashtag Kahoot Teacher Talks when you're talking about teacher talks online, that would be great, so we can find all of your posts. So all the links, all the resources, everything that we talked about today will be available to you once we email you all out, and your certificate will also be in that same email. Feel free to go back onto kahoot.com/webinars to see all the previous webinars as well. And as Pekka mentioned, you can go onto our channel and watch things like all the 10-minute courses that we have. So we've got courses on things like lecture mode. So if you want to just do a little course to check beforehand, then you can. So I've just posted a link into the chat. So feel free to click it so you can share your badge with everyone. But that being said, thank you so much for coming to the Efficient Preparation webinar. We will see you next month. Next month will be in Impactful Instruction, and that will be on February the 5th, but we will let you know. All right. So one last thank you to our speakers, Ashley, Hannah, and Pekka, and thank you, Lavinia, for helping answer everyone's questions. All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.